So there are things that I keep thinking about lately that I just wanted to talk out because I feel like other people might feel them too. And you know, I just think it'll be good for me and maybe someone else. And I'm gonna do a little mindful activity here while I talk. I like to collage, so I have some magazine clippings here. I'm gonna just start collaging. It's really peaceful and creative, and I always love how they come out, and they're very inspiring to look at, I think. But the things that have been on my mind, I think a lot about escapism, just like constantly. I'm just always looking up houses in different areas and apartments in different areas, and I dream up all these different kinds of lives I could have. And yeah, I'm just always like looking for the next best thing without really looking at my current life. You know, because when I look at my life now, there's lots of reasons to love it, lots of reasons to be happy. And for some reason, like, you would think that I'm so incredibly discontent, or I have such a horrible life with the things that I think about. You know, I think there's something about having a really big imagination. Like I always, I feel like I always interacted with that part of my brain in a very intense way. Like I played Barbies when I was young, I think, you know, way back then, which is typical. A lot of young children play Barbies, but that was like my prime way of spending time. And then I played with them until I was pretty old, like 5th grade. And I just loved creating this little world. And I loved making up scenarios and embellishing on my own life and creating a whole new life for this character. You know, I like to be in fantasy land, I guess. That's also why I write songs too. You know, like, for me, my songs like capture a vision that I have, or they embellish on my life, and I get to kind of play that out and see how that feels and feel that rush of inspiration, or that rush of feeling alive or feeling excited. And of course, this is not to say, I mean, I feel those things in my regular life, but there's something about when you're creating it up in your head, it can get so big and so powerful, and it seems so much grander than what you have in your life now. It's kind of like the grass is always greener thing. And, you know, I don't want to live that way. I want to be present and you know, enjoy my life. Like, I think it's very exciting to me to like live beyond my reality. And sometimes I can forget things that are currently in my life that I'm really happy about. And it's like that feeling of, well, it's that classic situation of thinking that if you make some drastic external change, then you'll be magically happy or magically satisfied, or that you'll suddenly have everything that you're dreaming up in your head. When, like, I know that's not the answer. So when I stay up for hours at night looking up houses that I can't afford, or dreaming about living in different cities and different areas, it's like what I'm looking for, what I think I'm going to get out of that, it just needs to start from within myself. And I know that, but it's hard to really accept that, because it's hard to make changes within yourself. It just is. It's much easier said than done, as always. You know, like, I know that the changes that I would make within myself, I would need to like start making the changes first, and then if I brought them to a new community, then they could be amplified. I do think that certain communities or areas connect with certain people more, or they allow you to be certain ways or have access to certain things or certain people that just are a better fit for you. So that is definitely true. But it takes a lot of time and effort, and you know, it's just the internal work needs to start first, and then you start bringing in the external factors, and then they work together, and then you start really like transforming and having that life that you're excited about all the time. Just arranging all of these things. Now, this is what I have going on so far. Well, actually, I'm not going to show you because I don't want to move the camera. I like hear myself talk about this, and it's like, what problems do I have? Why do I feel like I'm so discontent? You know, I have like many things going for me that I'm very grateful for and that I feel good about. This one says, so fragile. I'm a very sensitive person, so that's fitting. But I mean, like, I know one like major thing that I am missing in my life is a sense of community. I know that growing up I had a really deep sense of community, and I didn't even really realize it until I left, years after I left, really. And I didn't even realize that I grew up in a small town until like my boyfriend would come home with me, and he would just make comments like, geez, everywhere we go, you know someone, and you'd say hi to them and you'd talk to them. It's like you can't go anywhere without you seeing someone that you know. And I just thought that was normal, or I don't know, I just didn't think about that much. But then I think about, you know, my upbringing and my school and schools over the course of my life. And, you know, I think there is value in having friends that you have known since kindergarten. It feels safe, and it feels like there's this deep understanding. You don't need to explain yourself to them because they just know. And, all of that, those feelings of community and, that richness and that comfort and that support really got even deeper when my dad was dying, and just the whole town rallied behind us, and it was so special, and it felt so good to be supported in that way. I was 14 when he got sick, 15, almost 16 when he died. And, the school, teachers, sold t-shirts and gave the profits to us. People would come over all the time, stop over, see how we were doing, bring us home-cooked meals. All of my teachers at school were very flexible and would let me leave class if I ever got upset or, needed to check in at home. And my friends, they understood and they knew what I was going through. It was unspoken, and they were all, there for me. And they knew my dad, and they knew my family. So there was just a deep, deep sense of trust and community and support and love. And then I went to college. So I left my hometown and I went about 5.5 hours away. So it wasn't a quick ride home, especially it was a city and I didn't have a car. So it wasn't always that easy to get around. Though me and my sister, one sister, decided to go to college in the same city. So I did have her, which was really important and great, especially after what, my family had just gone through with my dad dying. But so I left, that rich community, and I went to college. And I did go to a smaller college. It's one of the only colleges that has an actual enclosed campus in the city. And it looked like a community, and it did feel like it sometimes, but it wasn't the same, and it wasn't as deep, and I didn't make as many connections, and it was just off a little. It's different, you have to make a lot of effort to create relationships with new people that can compete with that of people you've known your whole life, where there's that understanding, where you don't have to explain much, and then suddenly you meet new people and you have to explain your whole life to them, and so that they really understand you. And that was just different. But I did do it with certain people, and that felt good. And I had I had a small community of friends, but again, it didn't give me that rich, deep sense of community. And then I think other people also get really close to roommates, and that's how they find their community and their people, and that just does not work for me. I'm pretty introverted in the way that I get my energy from being alone and recharging. And after, interacting in the world with people, talking, gesturing, having the pressure to be on, what I want to do when I get home is be completely by myself. And I don't want to talk anymore. I don't want to socialize. I don't want to engage, really. So that, never really meshed too well. If you're trying to make your roommates friends, that just didn't really work for for me because I just wanted my downtime when I was home. So yeah, just like back to the community thing, that's what I'm craving, and just craving like a sense of community and a deep understanding, and a place where anxiety doesn't live as often. And that's on me, that's an internal thing that I need to give attention to, and ask why I feel that way, and make some changes or do some mental work to not feel that anxiety around people in social situations. It's definitely gotten worse this past year, the pandemic, and barely seeing anyone. I'm just like hoping that if I run far enough that I'll fall into this vibrant community. And that's just not how it works. I want to escape and go to some place that is rich and that there's a lot of things going on and people to see and things to do. And you don't just fall into that. You have to create it. So for me, it's like it's time to take responsibility and ownership of my life, which I think has been a slow process as an adult. Just realizing that you are in total control of your life and you're responsible to make the things that you want happen. And I feel like I was, in ways, like just floating around for a while. I'm also that way, that I'm a people pleaser and I kind of let things happen to me because I'm like, well, whatever they want to do, that's fine with me. I want them to be happy. So I just sometimes can let life just happen to me. And I'm not consciously making decisions or choices for myself. And that's pretty hard to change. But I do feel a shift in me in that way. I think this is mainly just a note to myself and to whoever needs this note to take charge of your own life and try to get really in touch with your own wants and desires and your intuition so that you can know what you really want and the kind of life that you want to create for yourself. And you can always recreate and recreate and recreate. You can always make a new decision that changes a lot of things. And that escapism can be good, because I do think it can be good. Because you can put yourself into a situation and really truly see yourself there. And then you get a feel of if that really would make you happy. Of course, you don't know fully, but when you see your life laid out in detail, you can start feeling if that feels right. So escapism can be good, but keep it in check, because I I'm telling you, hours. I will spend hours a day sometimes just researching areas to live and what it's like to live there, and houses, and, you know, houses that I can't afford, that are not a reality. But I look at those houses and I say, I'll be happy if I had that. And it's like, will I? Maybe, in some ways, but deeply, probably not. This is what I want. I want a party with people who I love, who get me, with string lights. Outside. Yeah, it's been hard this year for sure, with the community aspect of things. That's probably why it's so on my mind, and why I feel so disconnected and think that I don't have a community when I probably do have something I can work with. Okay, yeah, so note to self, note to whoever wants to hear it. If you need this, you might not. My street is so loud. Yeah, like, have an imagination and create, have ideas about the life you want to create, but don't make it a mindless activity where suddenly you're just scrolling through houses that you can't afford for hours. You know? There's no one way to do things. Everyone is different, wants different things in life. So there's no really example we can follow step by step. It's again that responsibility of just creating our own individual life. If you're feeling like you want to do something that is a little creative and inspiring and mindful, I would suggest collaging, because it's very fun. I'll show you. I didn't glue them down yet, but yeah, that's what I'm going on. I have to glue it down still. I know I'm covering up those words, but you know, it is what it is. Nothing has to be perfect, right? All right. Well, thanks for being with me this morning. Let me talk it out. See you soon.